Tulsa, Mississippi, Possum Point, Georgia, Miami.
Who's Amy?
Miami.
Hey, you mean your Amy?
Bo Hunkers.
Bo Hookers?
Bo Hunkers.
Bo Hunkers?
Oh, I beg your pardon. Hoboken.
Hoboken. Oh, well, Mr. Conductor, I want to go to Hot Town.
Hot Town?
Yes.
That's the last stop.
Last.
All aboard.
All right, sir.
Hey, greetings and salutations, everybody. I guess I gotta switch up my eyes, don't I? Maha! Much better. How y'all doing? What's new? Hey guys, how have you been? It's been a fresh minute, hasn't it? Translation chan's on top of everything. Mostly. Chat Rat, we haven't heard from you in quite some time. How are you doing?
Tethercat said 1-2. Tethercat said 3-4.
Can't deny that. Hey everybody, guess what?
Tethercat said hydration check.
We're already doing it.
Tethercat said hydration check.
It's been a while. Nothing's happened, which is kind of the problem. Is that nothing's happened. So, for those of you... Alright, let's get into some backstory. Welcome to the Zatsudan. My name's Tethercat. It says in the stream that we're playing some Dark Souls. If you're here for me playing any of that From Software, Dark Souls, Demon Souls stuff, ain't happening. So, click away. So, refresh. Why is that not refreshing? Figure it out later. That's a later agenda item. So, to bring all of you up to speed on what the lowdown is, what's happening, what the hoo-ha is. Here we go. I've been taking some free time. I mean, that's really the gist of it. I'm actually enjoying the summer. I'm enjoying the summer. The problem with that is that I'm enjoying the summer a little too much, to the detriment of everyone wanting to join in and see my streams. So I apologize. Full-out apology. I wish that I were around a little bit more for all of you, but we'll make the most of what it is. If you haven't seen it, the other day I played Mecha Chameleon with a bunch of the Japanese furballs. Translation, Chan, you were doing so well at the beginning and now you're not. Yeah, I was playing with the furballs and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm still rewatching it because over on, I think it's either Twitch or YouTube. I think it's YouTube. You can actually watch with subtitles, captions. So I'm watching and listening to their Japanese banter. There were 6 of them, you know, just the furball family. So there's 6 of the furballs, and they're just bantering.
Minimi Cursor 96 said hello.
Greetings and salutations, Minimi.
Shawnee
It's good seeing you.
6807 said Tether remember me.
Shawnee. You know what? I actually do not remember you, and I apologize. But welcome aboard nonetheless. No, I actually don't remember you. Now, I have a good memory for a lot of things, so if you wanted to tell me, if you saw me on a previous stream and you were like, hey, do you remember when you were playing that game or when you were doing that activity and I said hi? That might trigger my brain. But unfortunately, no, it's nothing's coming to mind as of yet. Anyway, but it is good having you around. Good having you on board. So, where was I? Anyway, yeah, I was playing with the Japanese crew, having some quite a bit of fun, I might add, with the Japanese furballs. And yeah, we had a lot of fun, straight up. But I'm going back and I'm rewatching.
Shawnee 6807 said I remember you were playing a VR game that had like a train station or something.
Okay, I definitely remember the VR game. What it was VRChat, which you can find on Steam for free. And you don't need a VR headset. You can just wander around. And I was wandering around various Japanese areas, and the train station was one of those areas. Now, I remember the stage. I can't state off the top of my head that I remember you, although I remember you saying that I was a certain height. Yeah, you're a cat, which I am. Anyways, speaking of Japan, I played some games with the Japanese crew last, I guess it would have been 2 days ago, Saturday. And I'm going back and I'm rewatching the streams, just having some fun, just seeing what they have to say. One of the funniest things that happened was that after one of the games of Mecha Chameleon, I said to them, GG. I said, GG. Good game. GG. Well done. GG. Well, what they heard wasn't GG. One of them, I won't say who, one of them thought I was saying chin chin or chin chin. and chin means penis. So I was saying, hey, great game, everybody. GG, good game. And they were starting to get offended or worried that they would have to censor the streams.
Shawnee6807 said it was like 3 or 4 months ago. I think I forgot your channel a while, but I found it finally. It's so good to be here and hearing your calm voice.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. I really do. What's really funny about the Japanese reaction to me saying GG is that the person who thought that I was saying the unintended remark thought I was saying, or rather, if you watch the video, it says, I thought Tethercat was saying penis, but in a really low, sexy voice, and it got me worried. Said my Japanese family
Minimicursor
member.
96 said LMAO. Yeah.
Why is he saying penis in such a nice, low, sexy voice? Anyway, I was not. I was just congratulating them on a good game. But if you go back, you can watch the VOD. It's a hilarious time all through it. And there's other instances of misconstrued Englishes and Japaneses, and it's all fun. So anyway, what else have I been up to? I haven't really watched any movies. I saw Supergirl, so that should tell you the last time I went to the theater. I watched Jurassic Park the other day, and that movie still holds up. I've started baking. I've been baking my bran muffins, and they're pretty good. Last night I made fish and chips. Last night I made fish, battered fish, put it in the deep fryer. An air fryer. I have an air fryer. And I also chopped up some potatoes, tossed them on the parchment sheet. That was just tasty. So I'm getting back into baking and cooking. What else? I mean, this is Zatsudan. What we're doing right here, this is just a chat stream. So we're not doing nothing.
Shawnee6807 said, I remember the VID. It was 3 months ago and it was called My Throat Hurts. Let's talk something like that.
That sounds on par with me. It's funny. Whenever I don't have anything to do, I usually do the craziest things. But yeah, nothing's really been happening. I almost got in a highway accident today driving around. So get this. Here's my spider story. There's no real spiders, and if you have arachnophobia, you can stick around. I got arachnophobia, and that's where this story comes in. So you'll have a good laugh with me. So I hop in my car and I drive, and I notice there's a spider web hanging from my side view mirror, my driver's side view mirror, to my door. Whatever. I lower my window, the spider web flutters and flies away. So, anyway, doing stop and go traffic in the city. And I'm about to hit the highway. I'm traveling from city to city today, going from city A to city B.
Shawnee6807 said, have you heard in the news about the tornado? I was almost in it.
I haven't heard in the news about any tornado. I know that storms are happening across, well, the world. And if you recall, I'm near Toronto, so we've had some weather today. We had some rain. Luckily, I wasn't affected by any of it. So anyway, to get back to this driving story, I was coming off. I was getting ready to go onto the highway, so I hit the on-ramp, or the off-ramp, I guess. I was going on to the highway. And what that usually means is it's never a straight shot. Usually you gotta slow down. You know, you're taking some curves. You gotta slow down. You gotta navigate the first curve, and then they accelerate you a little bit, and then maybe they curve again, and they get you all prepared, and then you get up to highway speeds, and then you merge onto the highway. Pretty standard highway stuff. So I get on there. And I start accelerating. I get into the corner and I slow down. I start accelerating. Okay. And now I am just shy of highway speed. I'm just getting up to highway speed.
Shawnee6807 said, I'm gonna leave the live stream because I'm a bit bored. Don't be offended.
I'm not offended. I'm glad you showed up, and we're gonna play a game at a later date. So you know, you have more than ample opportunity to come, show, hang out, chill, chat. So yeah, by all means, have yourself a good day or evening or overnight or morning, wherever you may be. Try and stay away from those tornadoes. So I'm in my car and I'm just about to get up to highway speed, and you know how on the driver's side mirror it says caution, objects in mirror appear closer than they really are. You know that little tagline, objects in mirror are closer than they appear. So I'm just like, I am accelerating to highway speed. And if you're not doing a straight shot when you look at that rearview mirror, you know, you got to be careful. You're doing a straight shot. You're merging onto the highway. And I look at my side mirror attached to my door, and I expect to see either vehicles or no vehicles. That's what's in the side mirror. I'm merging onto the highway. Instead, what I see is a spider. But the spider in my mirror is the size of a car. I gotta admit, for someone with just the most minor arachnophobia and someone who's getting over arachnophobia, I have a friendly working relationship with spiders. They don't bug me, I don't bug them. I was not expecting to see a spider the size of a car. That unexpected instance startled me so bad that I screamed and I started shaking, like my hands were on the driver's wheel. Both hands were on the driver's wheel. I reacted to pull away from the road. I didn't want to, collide with the car-sized spider. So I kind of swerved away from, and then I realized, oh shit, like I gotta look forward. And as I'm looking forward, I noticed that I'm drifting away from the highway, off that off-ramp. And I was like, nah, so I had to recalibrate and come back onto the road, Now, as a driver, you're handling a whole bunch of stuff. Much of it is muscle memory. Much of it is routine. You never expect... You expect the things you expect to be proper, thus allowing you to focus on the things that you don't expect. And the things you don't expect when you're merging onto a highway are, there's either going to be a vehicle or there's not. And how far is a vehicle away from you? That's what you expect. To throw a spider the size of a car into the mix startled me so bad that I reacted virulently. I was swerving as I was accelerating onto the highway. And I had to shut down all my brain functions and recalibrate my brain on the fly. Am I looking at the spider the size of a minivan? Logistically, the answer is no. And luckily, the logistics of that answer came to mind. Actually, it came to my head. My brain said, okay, you know what? Okay, that's not the case. So then my brain, I don't know, rebooted. And then I was able to successfully realize, oh, okay, there's no vehicles. I'm now craning my head around the spider on my mirror. Okay, there's no vehicles. And I was able to safely merge, and then I was able to safely accelerate. And that's it. I was highway driving. But for 1 second, for one small second, I had the scariest decade of my life. I was really lucky. There was no cars in front or behind me, and that there was no cars on the highway as I merged. Had anything occurred, it would have been just me and my fault alone. But anyway, that's what happened to me today. That was the most exciting part of my day. I wasn't expecting that. So then I'm a little jumpy, right? I had to drive with my window up. It was a hot day, so I had to put the air conditioning on. So I had to drive my window up. So anyway, I'm driving along, and eventually I drove for about, I'd say about 2 hours. That's a good long distance. I made several stops along the way, so, you know, you think that's a good long distance, good long time to get everything recalibrated, and it was. So now I'm driving back home, and I rolled my window down. Air conditioning was off. I rolled my window down, and I stuck my arm down the window, and I'm just like, la la la, listening to my music, la la la. Doom, 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 doom. And the wind starts tickling my hand, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And I look down, and it's a different spider on my hand. I was just like, blah! I'm already spooked. So I bring the spider in my face, my hand in my face, and I blow on the spider. I'm like, blowing on my hand, and the spider's not moving. And I'm like, oh man. So I pull my hand away, and I start shaking it out the window. Shake, 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 shake. And then the spider, I guess, left. I quickly pulled my hand in and rolled the window up and left the air conditioning on the entire ride home. That was my day. Just not having a good spider day. Anyway. Oh, man.
Greed_1914 said go to Modi.
Go to Modi to you too. It's good seeing you, Greed. I'm glad to have you aboard. Just having a chatting stream. Nothing's really going on. I've been doing too much of everything and not enough of anything. The Zatsudans. It's been a while since I've been on stream. I haven't had a good Zatsudan in a while. Nothing's really happened. The only thing that's really happened is that I did the Mecha Chameleon stream with the JP crew the other day. But otherwise, I've been on summer vacation. I haven't been eating well. I say that because it's about a month or two ago. Would have been about 2 months ago. I was in the... I did a good thing. I succeeded. And I did a good thing, and I wanted to pat myself on the back. Yay, Tethercat. Pat, pat, pat. So I went out to the grocery store, and I purchased a pie. One of those pies that you get in the deli section. I purchased a strawberry rhubarb pie. I sat there and I ate the whole thing. Not immediately. It took me about a week or two. Ate me a strawberry rhubarb pie. Out of the fridge, cold. And it's summer, right? We're in the summertime. It's hot out. Anyway, when that pie was done, I went and bought another pie. And when that pie was done, I went and bought another pie. And so currently in my fridge, I have like my 4th straight strawberry rhubarb pie. And I don't serve it on a platter. I don't heat it up, put some ice cream. Oh no. I've got me one of them disposable birch forks. One of those disposable things. Comes in packaging, and I pulled that out and I just jabbed it straight through the heart. Straight through the center of the pie. Started eating it from the center out. Making my way out to the crust. This is what the bachelor life is all about, kids. Just waking up and deciding, you know what dinner is? Dinner is just going to be...
Greed_1914 said eating pie as intended.
I feel like the birch forks are a symbolic gesture of elegance, because otherwise I would just be cramming my fist right in there and bringing my ugly paws up to my maw and just just a pie glutton. You know those fall fairs or those country fairs, and they always have those pie eating contests? I feel like I would want to enter one of those if they had strawberry rhubarb pie. And I would just sit there and I'd eat maybe, I don't know, a slice or two. Like you'd have some really big guy in overalls on the corner and he would just be cramming his mullet. But not me. I'd have a couple of bites. I'd be satisfied. That was tasty, thanks. Get up and leave the competition. Free food. Love it. I've never been involved in a food eating contest. Do you think that there's a quota, a minimum? You have to, you're in a hot dog eating contest and all applicants need to at least finish at least one hot dog. Otherwise, why are you even here? Probably an entry fee if I had to guess, so that all the entrants at least cover the cost of the hot dogs. Or the strawberry rhubarb pie. Yeah. Now, what else? I've been wanting to get back into gaming. You should see what I'm doing.
Green_1914 said I was in one once. It was bananas is different condiments. I won.
Wow, you won? Are you shitting me? You won? That's amazing. And that's like one of those stereotypical county fairs. That's one of those ones where you get a whole bunch of locals sitting down at the big table on the stage. You have an MC who's trying to cheer the crowd. The crowd is just waiting to see what the conditions are. Different condiments. That's amazing. And then you won. I am so interested to hear this story. If you wanted to write out maybe about 17 or 18 paragraphs, just paste them, one after the other, I would be absolutely enamored with your story. Anyway, congratulations on winning a county fair eating contest. Back in my day, we're talking like 50 years ago, in my town where I was, we had a radio station, and actually the radio station, it was an AM station and it serviced the entire area. And we had a summer fair, we had a fall fair. It was nice. Absolutely fantastic weather conditions. But they held a competition. Now, again, I live on the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes is a couple of steps from my door. And so, being a historic fishing community and all other water-esque related items, the local radio station 50 years ago, the local radio station had a hold the boat contest. The contest was, there's a boat, everyone hold on to it, you can't let go of the boat, the last person to let go of the boat gets the boat. Like the last person holding onto the boat wins. And they win the boat. Well, I don't remember that summer being particularly hot, but I do remember that boat being aluminum. So you got this metal boat directly in the sun. You have this metal boat directly in the summer sun. And there was probably about, I seem to remember like 100 people. And like clinging to this boat. And then of course the little kids were clinging to it, and they were the first to drop out. The kids dropped out. And it was only the serious adults who really wanted to hold on to that boat. You know the types. And over the course of hours, it just didn't stop. Over the course of hours, under the hot, blazing summer sun, people underdressed. There was no hats. People weren't wearing hats. There was no sunscreen. People were like passing out. They had paramedics there, like trying to revive people, clutching with burnt hands. Like their flesh was getting fused to the metal. Hot summer aluminum boat. I remember it lasted so long, and eventually, I think the prevailing theory was if we can just last until the sun goes down, then we won't have to contend with a searing hot oven temperature boat. Anyway, that happened. The contest was called, and they never did that again. Never, ever. That was the last
Read
time.
underscore 1914 said seems worth it.
I've never been one for boating. I do not like boats, so I am terrified. I'm not a good swimmer. I'm terrified of the open water. So I'm not big on boats. If it was worth it, it must have been. I can assure you the winner definitely thought it was worth it. Good for that person. But that was crazy. It was local radio. Local radio contests were always doing everything, weren't they? I used to win. Okay, so the same AM radio station, the same small town radio station. In the 1980s, it held a contest every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No, wait, no, it was every morning. They held a contest every morning. And, like, I thought it was... No, wait, no, I'm mistaken. It was Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Every morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the contest was in conjunction with the local video store. And if you answered the movie trivia... Okay, we're going to ask a movie trivia question. In 1979, this movie, blah, 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 starred this person. Can you name the movie? And for about a month, I would listen in, and no one was getting the right answers. And the people who were calling in were always these old grannies. Is it Clark Gable? No, ma'am. It's Superman. With Clark Gable? No, ma'am, it's Superman. So, are you sure it's not Clark Gable? Or Charlie Chaplin? So these old grannies were always calling in and never getting the answers. And then for about a month, this radio station was like, well, I guess we don't have a winner. And I'm sitting there thinking, I know the answer. Like I should call in. So I started calling in. And I started winning every morning on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Every morning I would win one free movie rental. And they always said, and we'll and we're gonna accumulate them, and at the end of the month you can come into the radio station, you can pick up your coupon for your one movie rental because you would only win the contest once. They weren't expecting me to win every morning, and it's not like I was calling in constantly. It's that no one else was calling in. If no one's calling in, then it makes sense that someone should call in, so that was me. And I kept winning. And for, I'd say probably about 6 months, I'd say. For 6 months, I got upwards of around 300 free movie rentals or something like that. Like, it was just an stupid number of movie rentals. So in the 80s, they'd call me by name. Oh, hey, Tethercat, how you doing? Come on in, grab your tickets. Hey, thanks. And then I go to the movie rental store, and they'd be like, hey, Tethercat, come on in. Let's get your movies. Oh, thanks. And I rent, like, Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. I watched so many movies in that little span of 1980s, thanks to the local radio station. They never asked me to be on air, though. Not once did they say, hey, you know, everyone's always looking into those movies. Well, we got the kid here. Put the kid on the air. It cemented how good I am at movie trivia, though. You throw me into a pub on trivia night, and I swear I will dominate the 1980s category. It's another reason why I really like Trivial Pursuit, for that matter.
Greed_1914 said uses the prizes to learn answers for more prizes. Flawless
You know
system.
what? It kind of was that. There was this kind of reciprocal cycle going on. It kind of was. It was like, because let's say that Batman was coming out, and they were like, well, everyone, I guess they wanted to promote the video store, or they wanted to promote the new releases, but as someone who was always in there, I was always so aware of the new releases. All right, everyone, up next, if you wanted to call in, we're going to ask our question. Michael Keaton, he's a comedian. You've seen him in comedy movies. Well, he's going to be a superhero. Call in and tell us who is he going to be?
Omega Chase 1002 said, oh shit, he's right side up.
Yeah, you can tell because I'm wearing the spinny eyes. I got the spinny eyes happening. How you doing, Omega? It's good seeing you. Yeah, welcome to the place. I've decorated it. Got my mug of cocoa over here. It's funny, the physics of my head moving. Like, okay, if I'm staring at the camera right now and I tilt my head to the side, it looks like that. Okay, that's good. But now if I'm staring at the camera and I look up, and if I stare at the camera and look down at my keyboard, so the physics are off because I'm upside down. So me looking at the mug of hot chocolate on the table beside the walker means I gotta look away from where that mug is on my screen, and I gotta look up into the sky, which is the complete antithesis of looking at that mug. Anyway, how you doing? If you guys ever want to just spring a 1980s trivia question on me for like movies or music.
Omega Chase 1002 said Brothers vertical camera controls are set to inverted.
Yeah, by design. Like when I commissioned Mizu to create this avatar, Mizu made the avatar and showed me what it looks like, and I said, that's great, but just so we're certain, just so all of us are on the same page, because I really want to make certain of this. Can you verify that when I look up, my model looks up, and when I look down, my model looks down? Can you just really, verify that when I look to the side, it looks to the side, and when I look down at my keyboard, it looks down at my keyboard? Can you verify that? And Mizu created my model and said, no. Okay, well, back to the drawing board. So Mizu had to do some extra legwork in addition to making this model look the way it does. Had to invert a lot of settings. But hey, it worked.
Omega Chase 1002 said, I think so.
Yeah. So Tethercat is supposed to hang upside down. That's the whole concession behind Tethercat, hanging upside down all the time. And then I said, for those times when I intend to go right side up, can you equip Tethercat with the spinny eyes? Not the normal eyes, but eyes that make it look like Tethercat is dizzy. Oh no, I'm upside down. All the blood is rushing away from my head. And Mizu said, yes, that's very easy to implement and very funny. So whenever you see me right side up, it's because I'm dizzy. And all the blood is rushed away from my head where it normally resides. And I can't tell my up from my down. It's an amazing model. It's incredibly unique. I haven't seen too many VTubers use a model quite like this. I don't know that I've ever seen another upside down VTuber. I can't recall seeing any upside down VTubers.
Read_1914 said I wondered about the eyes.
Yeah, that's the lore. There's I have 3 sets of eyes. Hold on a sec. Is it 3? I don't know. Okay, so we have the beady eyes. And these are like a Calvin and Hobbes type of beady eyes. And this was the original design. Here, hold on. Let me show you. Let me pull up the image. Where is that? We're going back. Yeah, here's a concept design. Like from the earliest conceptual stage, here's a concept design. And you can see, it originally didn't have those eyes.
Omega Chase 1002 said, Mom, I swear the tiger was talking to me.
The transmogrifier hit me. So the original design was to have these eyes. And Mizu said, yeah, we can do the eyes. That's not a problem. But I think it would really work out better if you had the whites of the eyes. It would be a lot more expressive if you had the whites of the eyes. Let me go back to the... See, the whites of the eyes don't really look good upright when I'm in the chair, but when I'm upside down, they look great. So Mizu said, yeah, we're going to do upside down with the whites of the eyes. And I said, nah, you don't need to do the whites of the eyes. Just get rid of them. We can have the normal Calvin and Hobbes eyes. It's fine. But Mizu stuck to his guns and said, no, it's going to be a lot more expressive if you have the whites. So when I'm hanging upside down, I got the whites of the eyes. But when I'm right side up, not only do I take the eyes off, I also go into the spinny eyes.
Omega Chase 1002 said Loki prefer upright sometimes.
Yeah. And then not only do I have the spinny eyes, but I've also got it's difficult to tell on this one because I'm wearing glasses, but I've got those wooba eyes where if you don't have glasses, you're blind. I asked for these and I said, can you do this? And he's like, yeah, sure. But honestly, I almost never use these. These almost never appear. Just like how I have a bow tie. I have a bow tie and it never makes an appearance. You never see me wearing a bow tie. It's part of the base outfit. Every now and then I put on the bow tie. Anyway. There you go. There's your Tethercat lore for the day. And yeah, I had to let me show you the since I'm the Wizard of Oz here and I'm revealing what's behind the magic curtain. Let's show you this this layout, because when I go back and forth, you can notice that in the bottom my tail goes back and forth. So let's show you what's going on there. It's a cut VTuber model. It's 2 separate VTuber models, and my tail is just completely severed. But you can't tell that. So it makes it look like my tail is still tied to the rope and it's just hanging out. See? A lot of thought, a lot of design went into all of this. I love it. I love it. Anyway, it's good seeing you, Omega Chase. Hey, fun fact, Omega Chase is one of my favorite video games of all time. And I'm not even lying. Omega Chase for the Vectrix. Omega Chase for the Vectrix video game console. Absolute one of my favorite games of all time. 1979? I think it was 1979.
Tethercat said hydration check. Tethercat said hydration check.
Oh, hell yeah.
Omega Chase 1002 said there's a game called Omega Chase.
There is definitely a game called Omega Chase. Do I have my... Do I have BizHawk happen in it? Let me just check my games folder here. I don't even know I have that there. Okay, games. Downloads. Omega. No, that didn't do it. I think it's... who knows? Yeah.
Omega Chase 1002 said just looked it up.
I love that game so much.
Omega Chase 1002 said well I'll be dipped.
Yeah, what year was that? Was that 1979? Omega. Yeah, I can't find it. It's not showing up on my system, so... What is this? Yeah, that didn't work out. Not like what I planned. Okay, anyway. That was a failure, but... Yeah.
Omega Chase 1002 said Wiki said 1998.
No. No. That is an utter infabrication, as Daffy Duck would say. Let's see if I can pull up a private window. Close that. YouTube.com.
Omega Chase 1002 said I was 2 years old then. So I came first, I win.
Yeah, you win. Omega Chase. $19.79. Yeah, I'm not seeing it as far as what year.
Omega Chase 1002 said games named after me.
Paste. Games named after you. It says this version of Omega Chase was 1982. 1982. Omega Chase Vectrix. 1982. And, oof. Alright, let's see if I can show you this. Window capture. Temp.
Omega Chase 1002 said okay, so apparently it has 2 release dates. Omega Chase 1002 said 98 was standard public domain version? Or is Google AI capping again?
Google AI is capping again. Simple as that.
give up my Atari? My television?
How about for this?
You bet your asteroids.
Presenting the revolutionary Vectrex arcade system. Discover how
Omega Chase 1002 said, and the original was Omega Race.
It's basically Omega Race. Plays a little bit differently, but it's the same concept. This is the
Omega
public
Race?
domain version. Made back in 1998.
I
Level
see.
1.
Okay, so Omega Chase is a 1998 homebrew.
Omega
of
Chase
Omega
1002
Race.
said, you bet your asteroids.
Let's see if we can get Omega Race. It says 1983, 1982, 1981. No, I don't want to know about the...
Omega Chase 1002 said, oh, I remember now. I found that video 5 months ago. My comments right there.
Yeah. This. Okay. Get to the game, damn it. Get to the game. Here we go. This is Omega Race, which became Omega Chase. I was playing Omega Chase. This is one of my favorite games of all time. Just, I adore this game so much. So much. Anyway. There's not much more to it than that, so I won't extend this further. But anyway, yeah. I appreciate the trip
Omega
down memory
Chase
lane.
1002 said, I always be chasing the next race.
Indeed, indeed. Came across my brother at a festival this past couple of months. Just walking around and stumbled across my brother. I was like, oh, hello, Tethercat sibling, how you doing? And the two of us got talking, because we're old, both of us. Two of us got talking about how we used to hang out in the arcades in the 70s and 80s. We used to just play so many of those old games. We were talking about the old arcade games we used to play. Battlezone and Crazy Climber. The fact that Pac-Man sucked, but Ms. Pac-Man was one of the greatest games of all time. Oh yeah. That was fun. A little bit of nostalgia. I had a friend who played Asteroids on the Atari 2600 and managed to roll the score. Managed to roll the score from 9990 back to 0000. And the level of excitement.
Omega Chase 1002 said, I know I didn't just hear someone slander my goat Pac-Man.
I am totally slandering the original Pac-Man, but I am also saying that Ms. Pac-Man is one of the best games ever. And personally, I feel that Pac-Man Championship Edition DX is my favorite Pac-Man game. Pac-Man Championship DX. Love that game. Where was I? But the
Omega Chase 1002 said, I am a pretend I ain't here Alad.
Good, you can keep pretending that you're not here, and the fact that the original Pac-Man was buggy and poorly executed, but Ms. Pac-Man had the best features for enemies and AI and ghosts and consumables, maze layout. It introduced the cutscene. Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man introduced a cutscene, a storyline. Act 1. Oh yeah, Ms. Pac-Man had it all going on. And then Pac-Man CEDX is just, oh, I love that game. Love the music. Love the visuals. Everything about the package.
Greet
you know what another
underscore
good one is?
1914 said she also wore a Bout. Pac-Man wishes he had that fashion sense.
Why did Chat Rat pronounce that weird? Pac-Man. Did you hear Chat Rat say Pac-Man?
Tethercat said Pac-Man. Tethercat said Pac-Man.
I tell you, Omega Chase, if you're gonna hear someone slander your goat Pac-Man, it's gonna be against Chat Rat, not me. And yeah, there was a definite fashion sense going on. You know what another good example of reviving those old systems was Space Invaders Extreme. I think it was called Space Invaders Extreme, which came out on several platforms back in 2010. I think it was the Xbox, the PS3. I played it on my Nintendo DS and my Sony PSP, and I loved it. Loved that game so much. So you got Pac-Man CEDX and you got Space Invaders Extreme. Two fantastic revivals. I don't know. I'm definitely more about the
Greet underscore 1914 said, was it spelled extreme so you know how cool it is?
No, and in fact it was spelled the normal extreme so you could know how cool it was, because
Omega
that was
Chase
bucking the trend.
1002 said, I remember I had a little LCD Space Invaders I took to school.
That's cute. Little, yeah, I always had them on the handhelds. Little Game & Watch action. I mean, the code wasn't very difficult to replicate and emulate the code on those little tiny beasts. As long as, what's copyright? As long as 30% is different, then everything is cool. Once copyright changes from that 30%, then it gets a little weird. So I guess as long as the game was 30% different, they could get away with making Pac-Man, as Chat Rat would say. Man, I missed just chatting. I missed you guys. How are you guys doing?
Omega Chase 1002 said they put Pac-Man in that new Sonic racing game, and his racetrack is his little Pac village, and it transitions into the maze.
Oh, that's cute. I've heard really good things about that Sonic racing game. I haven't had a chance to even look at it, but I've heard some great things about it. What I have been invested in, so I'm busy trying to balance work life, and that's why I haven't been around all that much. I've been just overloaded with busyness. But what that means is when you get a chance to relax, you relax hardcore. This music's killing me. I really gotta change this song up. Okay. And one of the things is my Mr. Pi, my FPGA Mr. Pi box, the little arcade emulation box that does all the console games. I have been loving that. I have been adoring my little one button every video game ever machine. That thing is a monster. Paid $200 for it. It plays every arcade game ever. Every console game ever. It's just phenomenal. I love that thing. Every day there's a new arcade game. I think the past 2 or 3 days they added in Cotton, which was a first-person shooter. Really funny game, came out for the PlayStation. So yeah, if I'm not diving into the most recent thing on Steam, I'm definitely playing my console and arcade emulator, which I really got to bring over here.
Omega Chase 1002 said so. It runs emulators?
Yes, with an asterisk. So, the whole design behind the Mr. Pi FPGA system is that it's a little Raspberry Pi unit. You know, you've seen them everywhere. A little tiny computer. But they've reverse engineered computer chips. So let's say that the Atari 2600 ran off the 2902 chip for its central CPU. The 2902. That's a microchip. That's a you can hold it in your hand CPU chip, the 2902. But what the smart tech boys down at the lab, as Cave Johnson would say, have done is they reverse engineered it to be lines of code that run in a modern CPU. So it emulates hardware. Doesn't emulate the games. The FPGA, the Mr. Pi, emulates hardware. Okay, so now it's emulating a PlayStation disk drive. So now it's emulating a Nintendo 64 memory unit. Now it's emulating the Dreamcast sound chip. And then what the tech boys have done is they've all just smushed it all together, all of this code, all this amazing lines of code, and they said, okay, we have now a cycle accurate, perfect representation of a physical PlayStation, so that if you do not have a physical PlayStation, you can run this, and it's one-to-one perfect. I mean, it's not one-to-one perfect, nothing is, but it's as close as you can get. And that's fine. Now you own a PlayStation. You got to go and find the games. So now you got to go and find your games. Now you got to go and put your games on your system. So that's what I've been doing since I picked mine up last year, is I've been pulling in every Atari game that's ever existed. Toss it on the card. Every Game Boy game. Sega Master System, Wonder Swan, Neo Geo. Any game that's ever existed ever. Put it on the card. So, does it run emulators? Yes. Mostly no.
Omega Chase 1002 said that's neat.
But it runs the machine as an emulated machine, which then plays the games. So it's a little different from emulating the games. It emulates the machines. And it's just fantastic. Like, it is phenomenal. So I've got a little tiny micro SD card, something that you'd fit in a phone or, a small device. And I think it's 256 gigs, and I've got about 150 gigs of every single game that's ever existed, including arcade games. Right up to the 2000s, which is pretty much when arcade games stopped. The only arcade games you saw after the year 2000 were effectively games you'd find in a movie theater for about $17 per credit. You know, those ones. Cash grabs. Amusement park rides. But the glory golden age of video games, oh yeah, that's all on my system. So yeah, anyway. Fantastic stuff. Love it, love it, love it. Like, I'm really tempted to just plug it in and show you, but it's over there, and I'm over here. And that ain't happening. But anyway. All that to say, Pac-Man, new Sonic racing game. I can play Sonic R, the old racing game for Dreamcast. I can play Pac-Man and Pac Village. Pac-Man in Pac-Land.
Omega Chase 1002 said there's this little barbecue place down the road that's still got an original Donkey Kong plus Centipede machine.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are the classics. Those are the glory games. I love Centipede. That was such a good game. Donkey Kong.
Omega Chase 1002 said Sonic R wasn't on Dreamcast.
Oh, you're right.
It was on PC Disk and Sega Saturn.
You're right, because I've been playing Sonic R on my Sega Saturn on the FPGA, and Dreamcast just went live. It just became created within the past week. But Sega Saturn's been around for about 3 or 4 months, and I've been playing all the Sega Saturn games. So yeah, that's where I was playing Sonic R. Yeah, it's a fun system. Like, it's really fun. I want to get back to playing all the old games I used to play, but the majority of the old games I used to play were all RPGs, and I just can't commit to spending 80 hours going through Final Fantasy VI again, as much as I want to.
Omega Chase 1002 said I play Sonic R on the Sonic Gems collection. It's always been one of my favorites.
I barely played it. I've played it once or twice. It's a good game, just it didn't connect. It didn't hook into me like the other games. I think when I owned my Saturn, and that's the other thing, I used to own 30 video game consoles and about 1,000 games, and I sold the whole collection for about $2,000 last year. And with selling all the consoles, all the controllers, all the monitors, all the games, selling everything, I took all that money and I was able to purchase this tiny little handheld FPGA device and put it in the middle of all this empty space, and it's wonderful. I love it. Anyway, for the Saturn, I used to play Guardian Heroes, Radiant Silver Gun, and Panzer Dragoon. The first one, not the sequel, not the RPG. So
Omega Chase 1002 said they do make shorter RPGs now sometimes. Little 6-20 plus hours adventures. 40-ish at the most.
yeah, they do make shorter RPGs now. I don't know. I'm old. Maybe when I hit retirement, like full on retirement, when I'm decrepit and I'm in like an old people's home and I pull my teeth out and I'm gumming my morning oatmeal. Everything that the song Afternoons and Coffee Spoons sang about. Maybe when I'm at that level, maybe I'll dive back into RPGs. But right now, there's only one RPG. Okay, there's one RPG I want to play, which is Terranigma. And there's one RPG I want to play on stream, which is not the same as wanting to play it. And the RPG I want to play on stream is Samurai Showdown RPG. Samurai Showdown RPG. It came out for the Neo Geo CD. I have it on my system. I played about an hour of it. It's amazing. There's an English translation. I chose Cham Cham because I love
Omega
Cham
Chase
Cham.
1002 said, "Oh, I heard of Terranigma from Super Derek. I can't believe I managed to score a physical copy."
Kudos to you on that. I've never. First of all, I don't know who Super Derek is. Sounds like a stand-up kind of guy. And I've stayed away from Terranigma and all its spoilers, so don't spoil anything. I'm going in blind. Eventually I'll play it. I heard it's one of the most fantastic games ever. But congratulations getting a physical copy of that. But yeah, that's one that I would love to play. Oh, and also with the Mr. Pi FPGA, it emulates hardware. And so it also emulates hardware really, really, really well. And so what the tech boys down at the labs are doing, so says Cave Johnson, is that for Star Fox used the Super FX chip.
Omega Chase 1002 said, "I haven't finished it yet. I always get distracted by other games."
Yeah, I hear you on that. Oh my god, I know that. I am familiar with that pain. So with Star Fox uses the Super FX chip. Star Fox 2 was about to use the Super FX 2 chip, but it just never went really to production beyond a prototype. However, that prototype got reverse engineered and thrown onto the FPGA. So now everyone is playing Star Fox 2 with the Super FX 2 chip. All of this is hardware emulated. They've just come out with a Super FX chip 3 for the FPGA. Why I am saying this is to get to, for the Super Nintendo, they have started to introduce MSU-1, which is a format for audio. And they are now releasing games that are MSU-1 compliant with the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom systems. An MSU-1 chip plays music of superior quality, CD level quality. So people are going and finding Final Fantasy, or they're finding Castlevania or Metroid or whatever game for the Super Nintendo they can find. And they're taking out the core audio from the game and they're plugging in CD level audio or orchestral variations from a symphonic orchestra. So when you boot up Castlevania, you're not just presented with bleep, 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 bleep. Instead, you get like this swelling London harmonic orchestra with its hundreds of instruments for full 5.1 surround sound to play your Super Nintendo game. So, I say all of this because Terranigma has an MSU-1, and I picked that up, and so that'll be the version I play. It has Dolby surround sound orchestra for Terranigma when I finally get around to playing that thing. I tell you, once again, I grew up and you play Pong. Pong is this little tiny black and white vector screen with paddles, and it's in a wood-cased cabinet. And it just sucks electricity. Like, it is
Omega
just
Chase
siphoning electricity.
1002 said they did eventually finish and release Star Fox 2 on the SNES Mini. That little plug and play with a few games on it that Nintendo released a while back.
Yep. And that was definitely more of an emulation thing. The SNES Mini was an emulator, but that was a software emulator, not a hardware emulator. And growing up in the 70s and seeing the potential that video games could be, and then following that over the course of 50 plus years, such as I have, it's just fantastic. It's just such an amazing world we live in currently. Like, the world sucks. The world is going to hell. Climate change, politics, the world is a very bad place. My God, video games are amazing, aren't they? If we're going to have us our bread and circuses, there are going to be some amazing bread and circuses. I am happy with these breads and these circuses. It's not even a golden age of video games. I'd say it's a platinum age. Because now you got CEO bullshit from Sony and Xbox. Oh, we're discontinuing physical games. Yeah, well, I just have a $200 handheld video game system that has 5,000 arcade level beloved classics and unknowns and hidden gems and disasters on it. And they all fit in the palm of my hand for $200. So yeah, you can discontinue your brand new AAA multi-million-dollar studio laying everyone off stupid CEO profit video game systems, the PlayStation 17 and the Xbox 90. Fine, get rid of those. I'm comfortable sitting with some of the best video games that's ever existed ever. Thank you very much. Translation chin.
Omega Chase 1002 said that's why we go retro and indie now.
Yep.
I recently got a PS3 for less than $200.
Nice score. Good job.
Omega Chase 1002 said way better investment than a PS5.
I hear ya. I mean, I have 4 PS3s. My PS3 count is at 4 of those consoles currently sitting over there on my shelf. They're an amazing media center. You can hook it up to a stereo receiver for 7.1 surround sound. It plays Blu-rays, DVDs, digital audio CDs or DACD. It'll play everything and a kitchen sink. And you hook it up to your computer through the Universal Media Server, the UMS. Like, I'm currently watching the most recent season of Ghost in the Shell, 'cause it's awesome. And I'll download the pirated version from Kami, and I will stream it through my UMS over to my PS3. Then I'll sit there with my 5.1 surround sound headset, and I'll toss on some Ghost in the Shell, and I'll watch it on my big 40-inch dumb TV, not a smart TV. I think the highlight of technology ended at 2015, and everything after 2015 became wrong. Technology at 2015 got corrupted. The PS3...
Omega Chase 1002 said I Loki just got it to replay Sonic 06 but it's also nice to get to play and I know Kuni whenever I want now.
Ni no Kuni. Oh my god, yes. When I say that I sold 30 of my consoles, thousands of my games, I kept all my PS3 stuff, and yeah, Ni no Kuni for the PS3. Oh. The only thing I can't handle is the really bad audio. God, the dub is horrible. If you play through on Japanese audio with English subtitles, it's like, come on, Oliver, let's go over there, and the subtitles are completely different, and it's a very bad subtitling job. I hope they fired and removed and discombobulated the individuals.
Omega Chase 1002 said it's an anime game. All English dubs are horrible, LOL.
I will challenge you on that to say...
Omega Chase 1002 said except for Naruto.
Except for Naruto. I will say that nearly all English dubs are horrible, but fan translation efforts for what is called an undub, UNDUB, undub. An undub is an amazing fan translation effort where they patch back in the original Japanese audio and provide updated, correct English subtitles. That's an undub. So, I wonder if Ni no Kuni for PS3 ever got an undub. I would love that. I'd play that. That was a good game. Anytime you get to play anything that's Studio Ghibli on your PS3, I mean...
Omega Chase 1002 said I ain't talking about fan dubs, those are fine. 'Cause fans actually get it right most of the time.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, the original normal English dubs are for the most part pretty bad. I agree. To a certain point. I mean, and especially with PS3, you hit Steam games nowadays, you hit the more modern games, and the budget is there, the level of attention, the care. Yeah, that's all fine. But even back as far as 2010 with those PS3 and Xbox 360 games, wasn't quite there yet. Wasn't quite there. And the worst part is if it was an American game, or not a European game, let's say, a North American game, if it was a US game, and it had native English dialogue, there still was just not enough of the quality. Yeah, with some exceptions, like you would find over in Japan. Japan was always top tier, 100%. Absolutely no doubt about it. I think the best audio I ever heard in video games for the PS3 and Xbox 360 were BioShock Infinite, The Last of Us, 100%. Like, that's probably the best of the best. Last of Us. Absolutely. I'd say Halo 3 and Halo Reach, Halo ODST. Mostly Halo 3. But that Last of Us, Uncharted had amazing English audio. I was a big fan of the Uncharted 1 and 2 series. Even 3 was good. I like the Uncharted games. Those were really good. As long as you turn your brain off at the door. Don't go in expecting Oscar level quality on those. Those were good. But yeah, the majority of English native or English dubbed games were just meh. Meh. And as far as English dubs of Japanese games, oh yeah, I'm struggling to think of any that were good. Probably the Sonic games. Probably. Got some good stuff happening on those Sonic games. By the way, over on Twitch and over on YouTube, you can find him on YouTube, is Devin Mack, I believe his name is, and he's the voice actor for Sonic.
said there's tons of mods for Sonic games on PC that retranslate all the subtitles to closer match the Japanese script. So you can play a fan sub of Sonic Adventure if you don't like the dub LOL.
That's kind of cool. Not gonna lie, that is actually really kind of cool. But again, now you're getting into mods and retranslations and fan subs and re-releases, and yeah, which I love, I adore. I am more inclined to play a ROM hack. Like, I just picked up Shenmue today for the Dreamcast. Just picked up Shenmue, and I had to download, I think, 8 different versions to find a version that would run on my FPGA. And the one that I'm trying to get, because I still haven't found it perfectly, otherwise I'd be playing that tonight. What I'm trying to get is an undub, so it has the original Japanese audio.
1002 said there's also one for Sonic Lost World that changes the subtitles to Furry Uwu speak. Died laughing.
Furry Uwu speak. Uwu. Gotta love that. That's funny. That's funny. I will take a look for that. It's Sonic. Let me type that in now. Sonic Lost World. I gotta type it in now. ROM hack. Sonic Lost World 3. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look for that later on after the stream. That's good. But yeah, Shenmue. I'm trying to find one that's an undub with the original Japanese audio and with updated subtitles for English. So when I find that, I'm going to be playing some Shenmue. I'm excited to get into that. I actually had that for Dreamcast for a little while.
Omega Chase 1002 said mod /50747 and game banana.
Copy. Thank you very much for this. Paste. Boom. Boom! Furry text mod for Sonic Lost World. Game Banana. I haven't been on Game Banana in a while. The last time I was on Game Banana was for... I almost think Power World. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. When's the last time I was on Game Banana? Anyway. Excellent. Thank you for this. A code injection mod for Sonic Lost World that hooks the game's attempts to get text from its XTB2 files and replaces the text with a furry equivalent. You ask why, but really the simple answer is, why not? Here's some examples, and this is where Tethercat provides examples. I've been looking for you, Baldy McNosehair. Gets translated into, I've been looking for you, Bowdy McNosehair. Ooh. Defeat Dr. Eggman without taking damage. Gets translated to, defeat Dr. Robotnik without taking damage. Ooh. The conversion is based heavily on this English to furry translator. Oh my god, there's an English to furry translator. You know, being Tethercat, I gotta... Yeah. Yeah, I gotta bookmark that. Wow. Anyway, that's a rabbit hole, and I guess there's a pun in that one too, isn't there? Ugh. That's funny. Thank you very much for that link. I love it. And thanks for posting that link in a way that doesn't get everyone's ban hammers in an uproar. Well done. You've done this chatting thing before. Kudos. What is it? Bottom of the hour. I've been talking for about an hour and a half, which is the longest I've talked in about a month or two. So I think I'm going to take off. Like the hoser that I am. I'm going to take off, eh? As far as streaming goes, I'll probably play something later this week. Don't know what I'm going to play. It's all touch and go. But I want to get back into doing some streaming. I want to get back into doing some stuff. I will more than likely hook up the...
Omega Chase 1002 said dancing around Club Penguin's chat filter as a kid taught me a thing or two.
Yeah, I guess so, eh? Well done.
Omega Chase 1002 said good night. God bless.
My atheist ass is too old for that whole thing, but definitely you yourself have a good night as well. As far as gaming goes, I'm probably going to hook up the FPGA at some point later this week. Play some FPGA something or other that you wouldn't normally see. Play some arcade game or something. Probably play some pinball. God, I love the virtual pinball. That's another... On the topic of virtual pinball, once again, I was talking with my brother, saying, hey, Tethercat sibling, you remember when we were at that old arcade and we were playing those old games? Do you remember the pinball machines? He said, yeah, I remember those. I said, well, they now have the technology enough that I can start showing pinball games on my channel. He started laughing. He's like, that's crazy. But so yeah, if you remember any of those pinball games, you just let me know. I'll play them on stream. And I think I did a stream a little while ago where I played Evil Knievel Pinball. That was a thing. Oh, I think I still have to play Rocky. Anyway. Alright, so I'll play something later on this week. Probably from the FPGA and probably from pinball and probably just some light stuff. But yeah, thanks for everyone for showing up. Thanks Omega Chase, thanks Greed, thanks Mini-Me, thanks to quite a few of you who just kind of popped out of the woodwork. That was really nice. It's good having all y'all on board for this return to streaming. we're gonna conclude tonight's little session here, and yeah, I hope y'all do well. I hope you eat something that's a little more healthy than strawberry rhubarb pie. Me, I'm just gonna go get some strawberry rhubarb pie. Let the blood rush back into my head. So yeah, everyone, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great evening. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, we'll see you in a little while. Good night.
Tethercat said thanks for watching. Tethercat said thanks for watching. Omega Chase 1002 said waving hand Jesus loves you. See ya later. Tethercat said the adoration of a 2 millennial nursery rhyme wasn't on my bingo card, but hey, I'll strike off that box, why not, LOL. Tethercat said the adoration of a 2 millennial nursery rhyme card,